So, thanks to popular demand, we are bringing you part 2, how to play the intro to Piece of My Heart by Janis Joplin, or Big Brother and the Holding Company. If you haven't seen part 1 already, the link is in the description. You will want to watch that one first because we're not going to cover that part of the intro. We're just starting from where we left off, right? And in this video, we're going to analyze how the part was played, because I could show you just, put your finger here, put your finger here, put your finger here, and that works. That's one way to play guitar, sure. But the better way is to understand how this part was written. What was the underlying theory behind it? And that does a few things for us. One, it actually makes it a lot easier to play, because when we understand the theory, we can literally just see what he's doing as we play it. We can hear what he's doing as we play it. Because in fact, even though this part sounds super complicated, it's actually a very, very common little guitar trick that we do up and down the fretboard. And it's in so many songs. So you'll also start to hear this technique in other songs. And when you come across it in other songs, you'll be able to play it easily because you understand it and because your fingers are used to playing these shapes already. That's what we want, right? And finally, you can use this technique in your own soloing and your own improvising. And it sounds great. So we all want to be able to do it. And this is the same kind of approach that I have in my book. It's called Guitar Soloing Like a Pro. It's available on Amazon. The link is in the description. And it has lots of different kinds of ideas just like this that will improve your soloing and help you to understand better what you're doing and give you lots of new great ideas for how to improve your playing. So let's just review how the whole intro sounds so that we have the context, right? So I'll play the whole intro. Cool. So it's all that second half. It's all this harmony part that we're going to look at today. This part starts from here. And essentially what he's doing is he's just using the E major scale and he's harmonizing it with another note below. So in order to understand this, we do have to just sort of back up and do some real basic music theory, and we just need to learn and memorize the E major scale on the high E string. And it's really easy, actually. I mean, E major is a little bit of a pain because we have 4 sharps, right? But if you just memorize where those notes are, I mean, you should be good at knowing the notes on the high E anyway. And if you're not, it's time to learn them, because we need to know the E strings really well, right? So now's your chance, right? So let's do that scale on the high E string. Of course, we have E is open, right? And we have F sharp, 2nd fret, G sharp, 4th fret, A, 5th fret, B, 7th fret, C sharp, 9th fret, D sharp, 11th fret, and we're back home at E again on 12th fret, right? So that's let's see that close up. Right? You might want to play it up and down. Okay, so now practice that a little bit, play it up and down until you can just sort of memorize where those stops are. If you're not familiar with the concept of knowing the sharps or whatever, just memorize, at least for now, where that scale is, where those notes are fit against the dots on the guitar, right? Now what we're going to do is we're going to harmonize each step of the way, because that's what he's doing in this whole part of the intro. We're going to harmonize the root, and we're going to start with the root, E, might as well. And we're going to harmonize that with its third. So what does that mean? If E is 1, we just count through the scale, E being 1, E, F sharp, G sharp. That's 3, right? E, F sharp, G sharp. So what we're going to play is we're going to play E and G sharp at the same time, and they're going to harmonize together nicely because thirds always sound good together. So where do I have a G sharp? I have a G sharp on the first fret of the G string. Of course I do. So I'm going to hold that G sharp with my first finger, and I'm going to play open E there, right? Now it's a little tricky because we're not on adjacent strings. We're skipping over the B string, the second string. So what we generally do is you use pick and fingers. I say pick and fingers, like chicken fingers. So the pick hits the G string and the finger hits the high E, right? And we can play them, that way we can play them together. We can play them together or we can play them separate. Either way, right? So now let's harmonize the second step. The second tone of the scale is F sharp. So if we think of F sharp and then we count through the scale, F sharp, G sharp, A. So the harmony for F sharp is A because he's the third of F sharp, G sharp, A, right? So here's that F sharp in the scale, which is second fret of that E string. And, whoops, and here's my A is second fret of the G string. So when I have second fret and second fret. So this was the first one, G sharp and E, and this is the second one, A and F sharp. And if I do that for every step of the way for the whole scale, then we'll end up with a harmonized scale the entire way. And what we get is we get some of the shapes are major shapes. The first one is a major shape. And some of them are minor shapes. That second one is a minor shape. The minor shapes have the same fret together. So 2-2 or 4-4, right? Whereas the major shapes are like 1-0 or as we will see 6-5. So let's go through them together. E, F sharp minor, 2-2. G sharp minor, 4-4. Now it switches back to major. This is A major, so it's going to be 6-5. Right? That's 6 on the G string and 5 on the high E. That's A major. B major. That's B on the high E, right? And then it goes C sharp minor. We're back to the minor shape. This is 9-9. They're together because it's the minor shape. And then we have D sharp minor. That's 11-11. And then we're back to E. We're back to the beginning again. And that's 13-12 because 12 is E. And there's that G sharp again. It's basically the same as where we started. So let's do that close up so you can see that better. Here's my E major, F sharp minor, G sharp minor, A major, B major, C sharp minor, D sharp minor, E major. Right? And we want to get good at playing that. So do practice that up and down. Do it so you can play it pretty quick, because we're going to have to play it pretty quick. That's playing them all together. We can also play them all separate, right? Pick and then finger. And backwards. Okay, so that's the harmonized E major scale. Okay, so now let's do this new part of the intro, the second half of the intro. I'm going to play the first part we're going to learn, and then we'll break it down. The first part we're going to learn starts on D sharp minor. So let's walk through it. D sharp minor, if we remember from harmonizing the E major scale, D sharp minor is 11-11, right? And then we're just walking down that harmonized scale to C sharp minor, and then B major. But there's a bit of a rhythm to it, so it's going to go. You'll notice that the B major comes a little early, right? It's syncopated. And then when we hit that B major, we're going to slide the first finger down after we hit it. So it goes like this. Okay? Let's look at that up close. That's okay. And then we hit the bottom end of the B major. So that's and the top end again. So that part, because it's kind of syncopated, it has kind of a funny rhythm. What you want to do is you want to get the sound of it stuck in your head so that you can replicate it. And then all we're doing is we're thinking about the shapes of that E major harmonized scale, and we're just following the rhythm in our head. The rhythm is do da do da do da do da da, right? Together on the G sharp minor, you'll notice that those two are played together, picking fingers together, and everybody else is separate. Let's do that again, nice and slow. And that's that whole first part. We are going to come back up the scale, but we're going to start down here at F sharp minor. F sharp minor is 2-2. And then we're just walking back up the same shapes, right? G sharp minor, and A. But there's going to be syncopation, right? But we'll just walk up to B, and then C sharp minor. But here's the rhythm. So we know the shapes, but now here's the rhythm. You'll notice that, again, it gets syncopated. So the first one, F sharp minor, is normal. G sharp minor is normal. But then I hit the bottom end of G sharp minor again, and that's where I go early. Right? So that's the syncopation. And then each time from there is just kind of comes early. Again, it's like you got to get the sound in your head. Do da do da do da do da do da. In order to play that. The stops, just practice the stops first, practice the shapes first. If you don't know the shapes well enough yet, then this whole thing is going to be too hard. So if you're still struggling with this, go back and just practice those shapes again until those shapes are easy, right? Then, when those shapes are easy, you'll see you can just hear the rhythm and apply that rhythm, right? So from that F sharp minor again. Okay, let's do what we have so far from the beginning of this whole part. From the D sharp minor, we have right? And now the last part is he's going to jump way up to the E major shape. That's 13-12. The top of the scale, right? And he's going to go, he's just going to move down. Again, same shapes. He just moves down. E major, D sharp minor, C sharp minor, and B major. There you go. So here's that whole part. And it does seem really hard until you've practiced this harmonized scale shape over and over and over again. Then you'll find it's actually not that hard. And isn't that a joy? Because it sounds so complicated. And I love stuff that sounds complicated because, well, rephrase that. I love stuff that sounds complicated, but it's not. It's actually easy to play, you know? Because, well, doesn't it make us sound like really good guitar players? We're actually like barely breaking a sweat, you know? So let's do close-ups of that whole thing. Here's the beginning of the second half, right? This is D sharp minor. little faster. Faster. We've taken an E major scale, we've harmonized it, and we've just gone down and up and down again. And that's essentially all it is. Some of the stops he plays together, picking fingers, and some of the stops he plays separate. And the rhythm changes. We have some syncopation on certain ones. So practice that scale, harmonized, and then get the sound of that whole intro stuck in your head so that you can replicate it. And then try out playing this harmonized scale in other keys. All you really have to do is find what's your root. So let's say I wanted to play this harmonized scale in G. I would find G on the top string, and then I would take my major shape, right? We remember the major shape looks like that. So that's 3 on the top string, 4 on the G string. And I just follow the same thing. It always ends up, if it's a major key, it always ends up being major shape, minor, minor, major, major, minor, minor, major. It sounds so cool, right? Alright, so please like and subscribe and comment below. Thanks very much to all the people who commented on the last one and asked for me to do the second part. I'm really glad that you enjoyed it, and I hope you like this one too. And again, check out my book on Amazon. It's called Guitar Soloing Like a Pro. The link is below. Thanks a lot.